Okay, friends, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do our guided practice for main idea or central idea. It's the same thing, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to look through this informative text. First, we always look at the title and read the title carefully and look at the front cover. It's about bats. The title is Bats. And we can look through it carefully and we can see that it has a lot of the same text features we've already been looking at. So we can see that it has a title page with the title and the author, written by Ned Jensen. The table of contents, where it has the title or the name of each section and the pages. We're going to see a lot of photographs with captions. And then there's more photographs with captions. Okay, let's see what other text feature. There's a do you know box. Remember, those are text boxes. Okay. Here we have a sidebar. It has a photograph right here, but the sidebar here is kind of like a little different color, and then the text is different, so that's a sidebar. So it's going to give us additional information about echolocation. See the photograph right here? We can see the bat sending out its sound waves, so you can learn about that. And then we have more photographs with captions, another text box, do you know? And then here we have an additional here. We're giving you a how to build a bat house, and a diagram about the bat house. And then we have our glossary and our index. Okay, so what we're going to do to determine main idea or to determine central idea and details is we're only going to be able to do one section of this book so that we can, for the purposes of time. And what we're going to do is we can read it together. You can read along with me. And then we're going to fill in our graphic organizer for the central idea of the section. So the easiest thing to do is just to read the heading. The heading is flight and feeding. So the heading there, it gives us what the section is going to be about. It's going to be about flight, how they fly, feeding, and how they eat. And in this case, how they hunt. Okay? So we're going to read, let's read this first paragraph, see what facts we learn. Okay? It says, bats are skilled flyers. The bones of the bat's wings can bend easily to change the shape of the wings. Now that's very interesting. So now I learned something I didn't know before about bats. That's a feature about bats that's very interesting because their bones bend easily to change the shape of their wings. So let's keep reading to see why. By changing the shape of their wings, bats can quickly change the direction of their flight. Oh, so this feature of their bones bending easily, so to change the shape of their wings because they want to be able to change direction fast when they're flying. Why do you suppose that is? Why do you think bats want to go here and there in a matter of seconds? Well, what do you think they're going after? Did you think insects? Good. Okay, so let's keep reading. In addition to wings, most bats also have a piece of skin that stretches between their legs. Now I want you to key in right here with in addition to. So first we read about their feature of their bones that can bend easily to change the shape of their wings. And now it says right here, in addition to. So they have that feature and now they have this feature. I always want you to pay close attention to these words because they give you an idea about, you know, the next fact you're going to learn about. So now I know they have another feature, okay? They have a piece of skin that stretches between their legs. A piece of skin that stretches between their legs. Well, what does that mean? Let's keep reading. When flying, bats spread their legs so that they can use the pouch of skin to help them steer up or down and swerve left or right. Oh, so this piece of skin between their legs, it's a pouch of skin that's used like a steering wheel. It helps them to steer when they're flying. So if the bat wants to steer up, he moves that pouch of skin. If he wants to steer down, he moves that pouch of skin. So it's kind of like when we're driving. Have you ever watched your parents drive? What do they use to steer? The steering wheel. Well, the bat has a pouch of skin that he uses as a steering wheel. Pretty interesting, right? Okay, so here in this first paragraph under this section titled Flight and Feeding, we learned about why they're skilled flyers. What was the first feature that helps us to know why they're skilled flyers? Well, the first feature is about the bones in their wings, right? What's so special about the bones in their wings? is because they can bend easily to change the shape of their wings so they can quickly change which way they're going. And the second feature we learned about is that pouch of skin they have between their legs. How does that work? Well, it helps them to steer. When they want to go left, right, up, down, right, they get that pouch of skin and they steer with that. Okay, so we learned two things here all about their flying. Did we see anything about feeding? No, not yet. So that's what I want you to notice what I'm doing as I read. I read one or two sentences and then I stop and think about what I just learned. Okay? In informational text, that's very important. You read a couple of sentences and you think, okay, what did I just learn about bats or whatever it is you read? Okay, now the do you know box says bats are able to fly high and fast. Bats have been clocked going as fast as 62 miles per hour. This is as fast as a car speeding down the freeway. Bats can fly 2 miles high. So those are interesting facts about their flying. Okay, so now let's look at this next paragraph. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to read a couple of sentences and we're going to stop and think to see what we learned. Okay, it says there, now we know that bats are skilled flyers. Okay, we just learned that. Now we know how come they're so skilled at flying when we see them in the sky. But skilled flying alone doesn't make bats good hunters. Oh, okay, see, the section is titled Flight and Feeding. So now I'm going to get my brain ready to learn about how they hunt. Okay, since bats do most of their hunting in the dark of night, they need more talents than flying in order to hunt. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to learn about how they're special when they hunt. Okay, so let's see. Microbats also have another feature to help them hunt. Echolocation. Okay, so right there's a bolded word. Right there's a bolded word that's important to the text because it's bolded. Okay, and so now I know that that's a feature. It's called echolocation. Do I know what it means yet? No, I don't. So let me read the next sentence. This is the use of sound waves to help bats locate insects in flight. So do I know what echolocation means now? Yes, it's right here in this next sentence. Let me see if I can underline it or highlight it. This is the use of sound waves to help bats locate insects in flight. So the key word there is sound waves. Oh, okay. So now I can use this photograph to help me. So echolocation means when they use what? Sound waves. And you see it in the photograph. So that helps me to understand what that means. They use sound waves to help them locate insects. Okay. Now, it says the photo and text below show how bats use echolocation. So exactly. So that's what that photograph is helping me to understand. Now here we have a sidebar. Okay, the sidebar gives us additional information. Additional information about what? Echolocation. So let me read through the steps really quickly so we can see how it works. First, the bat sends out a constant stream of beeping noises. That's what you see here, the sound waves. Okay, the beeping noises. The sound waves spread out ahead of the flying bat. Number 3, sound waves strike objects such as flying insects. So he's sending out those sound waves, and then when it finally hits something like an insect, let's see what happens in 4. The sound waves bounce off the insects and echo back to the bat. So it's going to bounce off the insect, come back to him. 5 says the bats pick up the reflected sound with its super sensitive ears. So now they have special ears I'm learning about. And then number 6, nerves carry a signal from the bat's ears to its brain. The brain interprets the size, distance, speed, and direction of the insect, and then zap, it's dinner time. That's very, very interesting. So when the sound wave comes back, his brain is telling him how far away the bug is, what size it is, and the direction he needs to go eat it. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so now we learn about a special feature for their hunting. It's called what? Echolocation. And now we know how it works. Okay. So in this paragraph it says, when a bat finds an insect, it sends out more beeps or clicks and sends them out much faster. It might send out up to 200 beeps or clicks per second. As it closes in on its target, it sweeps up the insect with a wing and scoops it into a pouch that is formed with the skin between its legs. Okay, so he puts the little bug in the pouch and he saves it for later. Later the bat will stick its head in the pouch to gobble up the meal. bats also snatch insects out of the air with their mouths. So he not only uses that pouch to steer, right, when he's flying, he also uses like a little pouch to put his bugs he's collected so he can eat them later. Very, very interesting. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to determine the main idea. And we already know here because we look at the heading. It says flight and feeding. So that more or less gives us the main idea. What we're going to do is we're going to fill out this graphic organizer. Okay, so you're going to type in, you're just going to click and you're going to type in. You're going to type in the title bats. And then we're going to, and what did we learn? We learned how they are skilled flyers and how they hunt, right? That's what we learned. That was the main idea. How and why they are skilled flyers and how they hunt. You can keep it simple like that. And then in the first paragraph, we learned all about their bones, right? So if you want to go back and reread, where is it? It's about their bones. So we're going to type in the detail about the bones. The bones in their wings bend easily to change shape, so it helps the bat change direction quickly as he is flying. That's the first thing to learn about. The bones in their wings bend easily to change shape, so it helps the bats change direction quickly as he's flying. Okay, so we learned about that feature. And then, what was the second feature we learned about their flying and their wings? Did you think about that special pouch of skin? Very good. They also have a pouch of skin that acts like a steering wheel to help them move up, down, or wherever, I'm going to put wherever they want to fly. Okay, so that's the second feature we learned about bats and how they're so skilled at flying. And then the last thing we learned about was how they hunt, how they're so good at hunting. Now, what was the special feature they have about hunting? Did you say echolocation? Very good. And what is echolocation? What is that? Is a special feature in which, what does the bat do? The bat uses sound waves. What are the sound waves? They come out like what? Beeps, clicks, right? Sound waves to help the bat locate insects. Let's go. Trying to type fast. Insects while they are flying at night. Okay? Alright. And then at the bottom you'll click and it says, I know this is an informational text because, how do I know this is informational text? This. Because this book had real what? Real photographs. What other features did we see? Real photographs. It had captions. It had a sidebar. What other feature did you see? We had an index, and what did it have at the back? A glossary. Oh, we even had a diagram. Didn't we have a diagram? We had a diagram, a glossary, and an index. And a table of contents. I left out that. Table of contents. Let me move this picture up here. Okay. Table of contents. Okay, so that's how you're going to do this informational text graphic organizer. You're going to respond to the book that I have ready for you, and you're going to write the main idea, and you're going to write key details that support your main idea. Like here, skilled flyers and how they hunt. Well, we talked about their flying and their feeding, right? So yours might look a little different, but that's basically what the section was about. So that's determining the main idea with the supporting details. We used facts from the book to back up our main idea. That's what I'm going to have you do in independent practice. Okay?